up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So we're going to be laying out my Big Bro KO today, and in my last asymmetric ball video where I laid out the Show Me the Money Black, I really didn't explain very well the PSA and changing the location and how you go about doing that. So I'm going to go through that on this asymmetric pearl ball, and I'm going to kind of describe what happens to the ball when you change that PSA location, because you can put it in multiple different spots. You can put it in the thumb, you can put it in between the thumb and the VAL, you can put it on the VAL, and that's going to change the overall reaction of the ball. So anyway, let's get started here. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started on the Big Bro KO. I really love the colors on this ball. Not so much bright red, more of like a, I don't know, ruby red. Really pretty. But anyway, so we're going to start with the PSA. Now on swag bowling balls, the PSA is marked by the swag logo. And as far as putting this in a specific location, here's the best way to remember it. If I make the PSA measurement really long, let's say 6 inches, that's going to put the PSA usually in the thumb or in the area of the thumb on the bowling ball. And as far as reaction, that's going to delay the hook phase of the ball. It's going to allow the ball to get further down the lane before it starts to make any type of a motion on the lane. Now, if I was to take that PSA measurement and make it a shorter measurement, so let's say 2 inches, that's going to move the PSA to the VAL, or put it in the area of the VAL. And if you remember from the last video, the VAL is the vertical axis line of the bowling ball. The closer to the VAL the PSA gets, the more that ball is going to want to hook early. Okay, so you're going to basically force that bowling ball to start using most of its energy in the front part of the lane. It's going to hook a lot, slow down quick, and give you more of a smooth shape off the back of the pattern. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with putting this PSA more in a middle location on the ball. Again, this particular ball is going to be more of an overall smooth shape, so I don't want anything that's too strong. I don't want anything that's too weak, because if it's in a weak position, that's going to cause the ball to not really do anything. And if it's in too much of a strong position on the VAL, that's going to cause it to pretty much burn up in the front part of the lane. So I'm going to put it somewhere in the middle. We're probably going to go with 4.5 inches. So we're going to put the 0 of the ProSect on the swag logo, and we're going to put a mark at 4.5 inches. And of course we're going to put 3 different marks here so we can connect the dots and draw an arc. Okay, the next measurement we're going to do, of course, is going to be the pin to PAP. Now, as we talked about before, you have to make an intersection with your pin to PAP measurement and your PSA to PAP measurement. Those 2 marks have to intersect in order for this system to work. So again, the 0 on the center of the pin, and we're going to bring the ProSect down, and we're going to put a mark directly at the 4-inch mark. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit longer. This is a ball that's got not exactly the strongest mass bias or PSA, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to have the ball slow down or be very strong as far as the overall layout. So I think we're going to actually go 4 inches instead of 4.5 inches. We want this ball to flare a little bit more as opposed to flare a little bit less. And look at that, I lucked out. I actually put the PSA arc in the proper area, so the line is going to intersect on the first try. And that's a terrible arc line, but it gives us the general location. There we go, that's better. Okay, now, because this ball does not have a very strong mass bias or PSA, we are going to give this ball a pretty strong pin buffer, because we want the ball to get to the end of the pattern and still shape. If we were to drill this with a pin down for me, which is 2 to 2.5 inches pin buffer, probably what we would see is the ball would get to the end of the pattern and really not go much of anywhere unless you were bowling on something with a lot of friction. So again, I'm going to give this an 1.5 inch pin buffer, which 1.5 inches is more or less kind of my go-to when it comes to asymmetric bowling balls, unless I'm laying out like a asymmetric solid, which I want to have, of course, more control. And if you're wondering, my original Show Me the Money that's in my bag right now has a 4x4x2, so 4-inch pin to PAP, 4-inch PSA to PAP with a 2-inch pin buffer. So it really does the job of giving me control with an asymmetric ball. All right, so we've got our pin buffer line. We're going to put the 0 now on the intersection of our PAP and draw the VAL tangent to my pin buffer mark. And there is our VAL. And now we just have to map out our PAP, so we're going to put the 0 at the intersection of the PAP. And again, I am 1 1/8 up, so we reverse that, 1 1/8 down. There's our PAP intersect. Center the rib on the VAL, put the 0 on the PAP mark. Draw our line over and put a mark at 5 inches. And there is our center of grip intersection. Last thing we have to do, of course, is draw our center of grip line. So again, we're going to center the rib on that over line. Put the 0 on the intersection and draw our center of grip. I'm not going to mark out the fingers or the thumb because the Pro Shop will take care of that for me. So in this particular case on this ball, we have a 4-inch pin to PAP, a 4.5-inch PSA to PAP, and 1.5 inch pin buffer. So anyway guys, there you go. That is the Big Bro KO layout. I'm going to get it drilled next week at some point, and we'll get it out on the lanes, and I'll put together a ball review video. Thanks for watching the video today. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.